We all feel fear, right? But what if the secret to handling it isn't just about being brave, but about what you choose to believe? Today, we're going to dive into a devotional that lays out a really specific, faith-based way to face our biggest fears. Let's get right into it. Wow. The devotional kicks things off with this really raw and relatable line. It immediately takes this big, abstract idea of fear and brings it right down to earth, into a real person's story. You can just feel the weight of that, making choices not just for yourself, but for your kids. So, first up, we have to really get a handle on the problem. The devotional makes it clear that fear isn't just some passing emotion. Nope, it's a force that can literally grab the steering wheel of your life and drive you down roads you never intended to travel. The author gets really personal here. She talks about being terrified that she couldn't provide for her sons. And that fear, it just got so big, so overwhelming, that it pushed her to compromise one of her deepest values. She ended up marrying for security, not for love. And that's the real kicker, right? That one decision made out of fear completely changed her path and led to a whole lot of regret. It's such a powerful example of the devotional's main point. When fear is in charge, it can pull us way off course from the life we're meant to live. Okay, so if fear is the problem, what on earth is the solution? This is where the devotional makes a big shift, moving from the challenge to offering a promise of real strength. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When you feel like you're drowning in fear, what kind of anchor is strong enough to actually hold you in place and let you make a different choice? Well, according to this text, the answer isn't something you find in a typical self-help book. For the author, the big turning point, the real anchor, came from a very specific and, for her, very powerful promise she found in Scripture. This verse, right here from Isaiah 41, this is the absolute heart of the whole framework. It's not just a nice, comforting thought. It's presented as a direct, active promise. I am with you. I will strengthen you and help you. So you might be thinking, what makes this promise so different? Well, the devotional argues that while any of us can tell a friend, it's going to be okay, only God can actually see the future. And that's what gives this promise its unique power. It's coming from the one source that actually knows what's around the corner. All right, a promise is one thing, but how do you actually use it when you're in the middle of a panic attack? This is where we get practical. The devotional moves from just believing to actually doing, laying out a simple 3-step process. It all starts with just naming your fear. Step 1, figure out what it is. Is it fear of not having enough? Fear of being rejected? Fear of loss? Then, step 2, just acknowledge it. The feeling is real, and that's okay. And only then, once you've done that, can you get to step 3? You make a conscious choice to put your trust in a higher power instead of in the fear. The next part is so simple but so important. You just stop. You take a deliberate pause, take a really deep breath. You have to physically interrupt that anxiety spiral. And then, in that quiet moment you've just created, the devotional says to actually whisper the promise out loud. You're turning it from an idea you read into something you are declaring for yourself. And the last piece of the puzzle here is about letting go. The text is very real about this. Trusting something you can't see is hard. So the guidance is to actively ask for help, to pray for the courage you need to finally just trust, to rely on that promise of support. And all of this leads to a really crucial final insight from the devotional. Courage isn't some finish line you cross. It's an ongoing journey, something you practice every single day. I think this is such a powerful and honest thing to admit. Even after all this, the fear doesn't just vanish. She still gets that jolt of anxiety looking at her bank account. And that just proves the point. Courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about the choice you make while you're feeling it. So the whole journey is really one of continuous self-reflection. The idea is to ask yourself every day, okay, what's weighing on me today? And then to consciously take that fear and place it right next to the promise that's supposed to fight it. It's a constant, active process of recentering yourself. And that brings us right to the heart of it all. This whole devotional really reframes what courage even means. It's not about being fearless.
Real strength, it argues, is found in that small, repeated, daily choice to practice trusting in something bigger than your fear.